coming, but so.
All right, I will email each of them while you start.
Yeah, so we're doing, yeah, okay, so you know who's missing. Okay. So welcome. I'm going to be the moderator for the evening. Welcome to the Circle of Influence half an hour. What the purpose of this is to introduce sponsors to other sponsors so they can get to know each other.
Not sponsors, not sponsors. These are the Circle of Influence.
Circle of Influence, sorry. Circle of Influence people to meet other Circle of Influence people. What we're going to do is everybody's going to do a 1-minute kind of elevator speech introduction. And then once we go around the room, then we're going to be followed by another 1-minute introduction of a current situation on how you help how you help the client in the current situation. And Kathy is obviously on the call. So, Kathy's a connected, introduces experts to one another and to her clients. Finding the right expert when you need one is difficult and can be time consuming. Making a mistake on an expert is very costly in terms of time and money. COI is an invitation only membership with members who are trusted and other members or by Kathy and her team. Members can connect with each other easily by viewing profiles in each member-only platform. If you haven't accessed it, please reach out to Kathy so you can get signed in for that. And non-members can search by category, and closed for new members. But other than the quiet referrals, we're building a platform and a robust application process to launch nationwide. So I'm going to call your name as I see them across the screen. Do a kind of a 1-minute who you are, what you do, and then we'll circle back around to get anything specific, recent success story, let's call it. So Hans Hanson first.
Well, hello, Jeff. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet everybody. Always great to be around Kathy. It's always just exciting times. Anything that Kathy's involved is always great. So it's always been wonderful doing anything with you. So thank you for having me on here. I'm a national college advisor. I work with families across the country, outside the country, to help them find the right college fit. I work with families, of course, on admissions and essays and applications and scholarships and choosing majors and saving parents literally tens of thousands of dollars on college costs. I've done that for like 15 years. But obviously now is a much different time, and the last month is much different, and the next 10 years are going to be far different. So right now I'm writing articles about how colleges need to react in the new normal, and it's really going to be up to the parents to force this through or to see it through. So if anybody wanted to ask me what's the one thing that's changed in the last 1 month, it's parents' attitudes, parents' mindset. They're no longer willing to pay the tens of thousands of dollars for this grand illusion called college. Anyway, I love college. I'm just happy to see the business model is going to take a tilt here and be more beneficial to the consumer, which is us. So that's me, Hans Hanson. I live here in Connecticut, but I work with people 20 yards down the way and 5,000 miles away and anywhere in between.
Very good. Jim Sandler.
Good evening, everybody. Jim Sandler, KM Consulting. One of the biggest issues that faces business owners, especially now, is that they feel like they're all alone. So what is it? My question to everybody is, what is it that's keeping you awake at night? There's got to be something keeping you awake at night, and it probably has to do with your business. I work with business owners to help them deal with those issues that are facing them and put together a plan, a strategic plan that will help them navigate the current landscape and make sure that they stay in business when this is all over. But in order to be successful at doing that, you have to have a plan in place, because if you don't have a plan in place, it's not going anywhere. Jim Sandler, KM Consulting. We'll make your business better, and we're keeping businesses in business.
Very good. Dick.
Good afternoon, all. I'm Dick Romney. I'm an attorney at law. I practice corporate and commercial law here in Westchester County. By way of background, for most of my legal career, I was a partner at a major New York City law firm practicing in these fields. And for a few years, I ran and helped grow a European office of that firm. In recent years, in addition to corporate transactional work, I've advised others on how they might establish new businesses or grow existing ones. For each of them, for example, I would look at things such as the current status of the business involved, the business goals they are trying to achieve, and the specific steps and estimated costs they think this will require. This might include, for example, forming or strengthening a board of directors or drawing up and advancing a financial plan to attract investors. But whatever your specific business goals may be, I'd be happy to be a resource to you in helping you to achieve them.
Very good. Jeremy.
Well, hello, everybody. Thanks for letting me join the group here. So my name is Jeremy Macliver, Phoenix, Arizona. And so businesses don't fail. I know we hear all this stuff about business statistics and how much of them fail, but businesses don't ever fail. It's the teams that run them that fail. And it's who they had on board. And so what I do is I help teams implement the entrepreneurial operating system to create three things for you. Vision is getting all the leaders aligned on where they're going and how they plan to get there. Traction is creating the accountability and discipline to execute that vision. And healthy is creating that functioning, cohesive leadership team. So what I find is a lot of times great leaders aren't great team players. And so as goes that leadership team, so goes the rest of the organization. And we get to the point where everybody in the company is all aligned on where we're going, how we plan to get there. We've created the processes, the systems, the structure, and we're ultimately achieving goals pre-COVID and through COVID.
Very good. Greg Muller.
Hi, everyone. So I work for Southport Financial. We are a real estate investment firm. We mostly, although we operate out of Connecticut, most of our property is in the Southeast U.S. For mainly migration purposes. As people tend to move there more and more, we like to be there. That's where we're seeing our best returns. And usually we work in about the 200 plus unit multifamily space. Firm's been around for 30 plus years, have a 20+% IRR. And, thanks for having me here on this call.
Very good. Ryan English.
Hi, my name is Ryan Englin. I'm out here in Phoenix, Arizona as well. I spent almost a decade at corporate America learning how to recruit people, build systems and processes, and make things efficient. And then I got an extensive background in marketing, and a few years back realized that a lot of small and medium-sized businesses were struggling to hire good people. It was a very competitive job market prior to the COVID issues. But what I found was most of the time people were hiring specifically on skill set, and they weren't looking at things that were more important, like do they fit the team? Do they think like the team? Do they all want to row in the same direction? And so I've got a proven process that I help companies implement where they can fill a pipeline by attracting the right people to their business, hire and screen them, onboard them as well. And then finally, how do you keep those right people when you put all that effort into it? So we help small and medium-sized businesses attract, hire, and retain the right people so that they can grow their team healthy.
Very good. Anne.
Hi, everyone. It's been a long day at the beach. My name is Anne McGuire, Healthcare Pathfinder. I'm the founder and owner of a healthcare advice and advocacy firm, helping clients who are overwhelmed with managing their health insurance. They may have severe illness or they're elderly and they are just overwhelmed with all of the bills, the claims, what they need to submit to insurance company. Do they have the right coverage? How to understand their coverage? Is it long-term care insurance or health insurance? Really helping them and advocate for them. I'm a nurse and a certified case manager, so I help with the transitions through hospital care, etc. So Anne McGuire, Healthcare Pathfinder. We're here to take care of your health insurance issues so that you can take care of your family and loved ones.
Very good. Fernando.
Thank you, Jeffrey. My name is Fernando Coates. I'm a commercial and residential real estate lawyer in Manhattan, although I've been hanging out a lot in Queens where I live. With respect to residential, I represent both purchasers and sellers of apartments, condominiums, co-ops, and houses or townhouses. With respect to construction or commercial, I do construction, development, purchase and sales of buildings, multifamily and otherwise, as well as hotels. And I'd say 50 to 60% of my clients are foreign-based, foreign-born. Well, they'd be foreign-born if they're foreign-based anyway, or vice versa. I'm not sure. In any case, I'm from Latin America originally. I grew up here, so a lot of clients I can speak Spanish and Portuguese, and French I can get by, and I assist them with their investments here in New York. Thank you.
Very good. Patricia.
Hi, I'm Pat Creedon of Pat Creedon Design, and I work with business owners and entrepreneurs who struggle with finding a responsive, dedicated graphic designer who gets them and that would like to have a professional look to their logo, brochures, and branded online and email communications. What sets my services apart from other graphic designers and firms is that I have an extensive background working on major consumer brands. I have a bachelor's from Parsons School of Design, and I love building my own business. So I love working with those who are passionate about building their businesses as well. And because of this, my clients receive high-level attention that showcases their brand and expertise in the most professional light and garners the right kind of clients for their businesses. Pat Creedon Design, your trusted design resource.
Terrific. Lois.
Hi, my name is Louis Kaufman. Actually, I've been noticing I need a haircut, and unfortunately I can't get one. So it's been grabbing my attention this whole call. But anyway, so I am a data consultant, but right now the biggest project I'm working on actually is a leads generator for my networking groups. So it's called Track Stuff Down. And the goal is to funnel leads to the people in the networking groups I'm in. So, and it's free. So if anyone's interested in getting free leads, the generator is called Track Stuff Down. If you email join@trackstuffdown.com and fill out the form that we send you, you'll get free leads.
So where's the money?
Where's the money? Well, the big goal here actually is I want to get good leads myself too. But a leads generation network isn't very good if you're the only one in it. Nobody's going to send you any leads. So I actually benefit by giving the leads to everybody. It's categorized, so you only get leads for the categories that you're interested in.
Very cool. And for myself, Jeff Weiner, HKM Associates. And what I do is MRIs and CAT scans, but on insurance policies. So we show people what they don't know, they don't know. The areas that we work in are health insurance, life insurance, estate planning, long-term care. What's going on now in our world, two things, both on the life insurance side and on the health insurance side. So on the health insurance side, the insurance companies are allowing people to stay on health insurance benefits, even if they're furloughed, even if they're working 0 hours. So you can keep your employees on the health insurance plan without them actually working, as long as the premiums are paid. More importantly, the insurance companies are allowing companies to change plans off anniversary. So if you have a health insurance plan, it's due for renewal in August, September, whenever it is, you can actually move your plan now. One of the big things that we've been promoting for a couple of years is something called the high deductible health insurance plan. And what's happened in the small group marketplace, which is 2 to 100 employees, is the difference in the premium between a traditional plan and a high deductible plan has gotten so big that there's no more risk in buying high deductible plans. You'll save more in premium than you'll pay out in claims. And what's happened now, because of what's going on with the COVID situation, the insurance companies are covering all the claims for anything COVID-19 related. So employers aren't paying it, employees aren't paying it, the insurance companies are. So when you look at a high deductible plan, and we did one in April for a group, it was a 20-person law firm. We saved him $4,500 a month in premium. Now, he's not going to save $50,000 a year because he's not going to have no claims, but during the month of April and probably for the next 2 or 3 months, he's going to have very little claims. So we spoke to him actually this morning to see how it was going. A 20-person law firm had $247 worth of claims for the month for his entire company, because of the fact that nobody's going to doctors and nobody's going to hospitals and nobody's having surgery. So that's one of the big things we're doing work with is companies who have health insurance, who have copays. We can save them real money right now, effective May 1, whatever, it doesn't matter when their anniversary is. So that's what we're doing on the health side. On the life insurance side, also is changed dramatically. Insurance companies are allowing you to buy life insurance up to $3 million with no exams and no blood tests. So they're non-medically underwriting anybody between 25 and 60, as long as you're not on any kind of big medications or have heart attack, stroke, cancer kind of thing. They're underwriting it. And out of New York, because a couple people are from Arizona, it's an electronic application. So we fill out an application, you answer 10 questions, they give you an approval. Turnaround time on these policies is about 1 week from beginning to end, up to $3 million. So now is a great time to buy life insurance because you can get it no med, no urine, and rates have come down a lot, especially on term policies. And on the other side is anybody who has a whole life policy, we can free up cash, because the problem with whole life policies is you get cash value or death benefit, not both. So what we've done with all people with whole life is we said buy what's called the guaranteed universal life policy, which is guaranteed death benefit forever, just like whole life, but not designed to build up cash. So it's half the price of whole life, and then you can free up the cash. We had a situation with a client that he's 70, we did a policy 4 months ago. Well, he's very happy that he has $175,000 available to him to get through his business through now, because had it been in his old Guardian policy, he would have to borrow the money, pay interest, they would have reduced the death benefit. Now the investment company is sending him a check. So it's pretty simple, pretty basic, because any whole life policy will be more expensive than any universal life policy, and the companies that sell whole life don't necessarily sell universal. Kathy, can I mention my lunch group?
Yep.
Okay. I also run my own networking group, which is also now gone national because of Zoom. We get together 12 to 14 people for lunch, business owners and decision makers, exclusive by industry for the meeting, no fees, $35 for lunch, which we're giving to charity. You get to talk 3-4 minutes about who you are, what you do, and how the group works different from every other group. Each time you come, you meet different people. I have over 250 companies in the group. We've done over $12 million of business together, and as importantly, we've raised over $1 million for charity. So if you want to be part of the Zoom lunch group, shoot me an email, or you can reach me at 516-316-1255, or shoot me an email at hkmassoc@gmail. We can add you to the lunch group, and you can come check it out. It's every Wednesday, every Friday, 12 to 2. All right, so why don't we go around the room?
Can you just put those in the chat when you have a minute?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Not right now.
All right, so why don't we go around the room again, kind of what makes you different, recent success story situation. Let's do it the same way. Hans.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. All right, so I work with people around the world. I have a large group of families I work with from Quito, Ecuador. What makes me different is I really appeal to the feelings of the kids. We have to know the whys. Why are they doing what they're doing? Why do they want what they want? And what fuels their passion and true desires. And once we uncover that, then we can much better find the right college fit for our families. Same thing with the parents. We have to find out what the cost budget is for their college. So this one family down in Quito that I'm actively with right now, family of a senior, they told me 2.5 years ago their cost budget $35,000 a year, max, that's it. We've worked for 2.5 years to get a couple of great colleges, a couple of great private schools here in the Northeast to deliver the education to their son for $35,000 a year. Well, because of things, and they've been shut down for 2 months, and their work situation has changed, now they can't afford $35,000. That's shifted down to $25,000. So we've gone back to the college just in the last week with our personal appeals, and we already have $10,000 increase in scholarships per year already, and we're working on another 10. So right now we're under 25,000, and we're working to try to get under 20,000. That's the work I do. It doesn't end there, but that's what I do, and I love doing it. I wake up every day to that responsibility, and I just love it.
Yeah, and that's a dramatic change in that industry for sure. My niece is a college senior, and so it's all kind. So we're living the nightmare. Jim Sandler.
You're on mute, honey.
Got on mute, Jim. Got on mute.
Sorry about it. Good evening again. What makes me different is a few things. First thing is I listen to what the clients are saying. I actively listen. I ask questions and I listen and then mirror it back to them to make sure that what they're saying is what I'm hearing. So that's one thing. Another thing that makes me different is I come from a family business, so I have an expertise in family business. I've also I spent 25 years in international business, traveling around the world to about 70 countries in order to build distribution networks and sales organizations. I was in distribution, I was in manufacturing, and I was in coaching and consulting. So I have a wide background of different skills that I bring to the table.
Very good.
Can I just pop in real quick? Sorry, I can't help myself. It's supposed to be how I helped a recent client. So give us a tangible example of how you help somebody. Dick, sorry.
Jeff changed that one.
Okay, sorry.
I know, I'm sorry. I just wanted to step in before everybody got done.
Okay, not a problem. Okay, Dick.
How I helped a client in recent years. Well, in recent years, I served as outside counsel to a renewable energy company that had developed a new combustion technology. It was very efficient. It gave a much more effective burn. This is for the production of electricity that would be pushed out the door through turbines. The technology would provide a cleaner and more efficient production of electrical energy than was then available from any other sources that we were aware of. As outside counsel, I advised the company's president, its other officers, and its board of directors on key legal matters, many of which they had not considered, such as the specifics of procuring loans and other financing for the project. And the matters addressed also included the legal documentation necessary to advance the project and a whole bunch of other issues concerning the respective interests of the various parties that were involved in the project and its planned financing.
Very good. Kathy.
Oh, okay. I wasn't ready for this. So one recent client I worked with is in the food and beverage company, and there's two halves of the family. The 85-year-old side is ruling the company. The other side is ready to walk out. The 90-year-old mother on that side is still around, so she's the grandmother and this is her brother-in-law. Her will is leaving her 25% to all 5 children, meaning we would have 4 aunties in the business with 5% voting shares. That would be a nightmare. So part of what I did was actually drive out to Queens to meet with grandma, 90-year-old, and convince her. We made basically a PowerPoint deck. They actually have an offer on the table, and we made a proposal for the girls to be willingly give up their shares. Grandma transfer her shares now to her son, so he has the 25% secured. Nobody can change the will. And then we will give the girls all of grandma's estate, everything else she owns, and we started out with 0.5% of non-voting shares in the new co. So that then we were willing to go up to 2%. So this way we won't have the issue of you get 5 sisters in the business that each have a piece and have never been in the business. You're not going to have the business in 4 years. It's going to be a nightmare and they're going to sell it out. So that's just an example of something very very granular that I did. Drove out to Queens, 2.5-hour meeting with 90-year-old grandma, 2 of the daughters, grandson who brought me in, and ultimately to try to explain to the girls why they shouldn't be in the business and why we'll give them 3 of them are broke. And so we were selling the building and giving them their share of grandma's building right now. So they would each have $400,000 in their hot little hands. That makes it a little bit easier to transact.
Very good. Jeremy.
Yeah, so I've owned and led several companies through the years and built a reputation around clear, tangible results. So this COVID-19 thing is really, it's been interesting to see how teams and companies have reacted. And so a specific conversation I had with one of my clients as I checked into him about a week into the whole pandemic crisis, shutdown, whatever we want to call that. One of my clients, and hopefully we all take this with the right mindset, was almost overjoyed with the situation because they were so clear and their team was so crystal clear on what their goals were. They were moving stuff up as fast as they could. And he literally told me, he says, Jeremy, I got all the tools. I'm flying crystal clear right now. My team knows what they're doing, and we are going to put our competition out of business through this. They're flying blind. And so that's what I do. It's not just the owner being clear, and it's not just the leadership team, but it's everybody knowing what success looks like and being able to create whatever issue they need to resolve that in real time. And that gave him the strategic advantage to move through this with confidence and resilience, and they'll come out even better than before.
Very good. Terrific. Greg. Got to unmute, Greg. You're muted.
Just a little background to start us off. So last year we liquidated just about all of our properties in the anticipation of some sort of a problem. So we are sitting cash heavy. We are also continuing to bring in more dollars right now because we're actually able to pay a return, whereas most people are looking at the market having trouble. So a case that I just worked on and Kathy knows a little bit about, we actually were able to onboard qualified assets, which means any of you who have your own 401ks, your own IRAs, you can self-direct those and then choose to invest them in things other than a traditional stock bond portfolio. You can actually choose to invest them in things like real estate. And so many people don't actually know that. So we're able to help a particular client take his old 401k, roll it into an IRA, make it a self-directed IRA, and allow those dollars to begin earning as opposed to taking whatever that normal or scary COVID risk would be, just going, hey, I hope the market does okay, and we'll see what happens. With that in mind, and another future help that we're going to bring, right now we're shopping a lot because it's a buyer's market, and so we are about to help a current property owner out of their business and out of their property because they're going to be hard pressed to sell. And in the relatively near future, we are going to scoop up a whole bunch of properties, helping those people right out of that problem.
Very good. Ryan.
So one of the things that's unique about the work that I do is I get very involved with the leadership team of my clients, and often the CEO or the owner of the company turns to me when there's ever a people strategy question. Are we making the right decisions about the types of people we're hiring? Are we even creating the right positions? And so I've got a smaller client who's been doing all right through this whole mess. They're in the home services space, and they, so, you know, a lot of people aren't having them come into their home. So they're really focused on more of how can we operate remotely? How can we diagnose things, estimate things remotely? And there have been some people on the team that just haven't been able to make it through this. So they've been losing some people that have decided to move on, explore other opportunities. And he ends up calling me and says, hey, you know, I've got this person. I'm really glad that they left, but I feel like we need to replace them. So can you start looking right now? And we ended up having this conversation. And after about 15 minutes, he realized that one of the reasons he's really been struggling with this person in this position is he's just too small to have someone focus just on that for him. So we're going to change up the job description, change up the role, and start looking at someone who's a little bit more of an operations manager, office manager type that can get involved in a whole bunch of different things and fill in the pieces as everything's so dynamic right now. So being able to work on the people strategy is something that I've been able to help my clients with.
Very good. Anne.
Hi again. So being a nurse case manager and also helping people manage their health insurance, I can really help people from a holistic perspective. And I have 2 clients and actually a third who is losing have lost their spouses. And originally got involved with these clients to help them manage their long-term care insurance and also help them transition with their health insurance coverage. And then dealing with, they ended up, 2 of the spouses ended up in the hospital. So it was working with the family, talking to case managers. They were in really sort of end of life situations and having the difficult conversations and making sure that all of their advanced directives were, their needs were met, that the doctors understood what their wishes were, and helping the spouses just help them deal with it. They weren't able to be with their husbands, and just talking to them every day, several times a day, and help them communicate with case managers, with hospice, and even talking to funeral homes, because one of the clients did not have a plan. So it was, just being there for people through the whole process, and then still, even after they've passed away, their spouses have passed away. These, they're both women, actually. The third is also a woman. They're still going to remain as clients so that I can be there to help manage their health insurance as they continue on their own without
That's great.
others.
Thank you for the work you do. That's very tough work, and thank you for the work you do. Fernando.
Yes, what I've been doing lately because of the pandemic, and I'm helping a lot of commercial tenants, advise them how to deal with the whole crisis involving payment of rent. And I always say communication is the most important thing, not to hide your head under the sand or try to avoid the landlord or pay it without thinking there will not be any consequences. There may not be any evictions, but it's not good to be in a situation that you're at war with the landlord, because the landlords, even though I usually represent tenants, have their own problems dealing with lenders and mortgages and paying property tax and so forth. So I've been involved a lot in these free consultations, actually, for a lot of commercial tenants, trying to give them advice how to deal with it, come up with some solutions, deferral, partial waiver, adding rent back at the end of the lease. There are a lot of different things that you can try to structure together. And I'm trying to help these people as much as I can, because it's a really bad situation for commercial tenants, especially retail, hospitality, and non-essential businesses and so forth.
Very good. Patricia. Got on mute. There you go.
Hi, everyone. I was just thinking about how a client really wanted to get the word out for planning. He's a financial advisor, and he wanted to create a paper that would really give a good idea of how people should feel in this difficult time about the market. And I pulled it together in one day for him because he wants to get it out quickly. It's 10 pages, and it's got like 6 different charts, one of which I had to create from scratch. So in some ways, I try to do what I do best, which is graphic design, to help people get the word out and do what they do best. Pat Creedon of Pat Creedon Design.
Very good. Lewis.
So, as I mentioned, I do leads generation, but on the other side of that, what I do is I actually help a lot of people find resources that they can't get within their immediate network. That's, the other side of the leads. So, one example of that recently was a guy who was trying to get legal representation, English-speaking legal representation, to help with the problem his company was having in Poland. And so this had to be an English-speaking lawyer that was well-versed in the Polish legal system, which, as you might imagine, is a little hard to find. but we actually managed to find that. You know, the ask went out to all the different lawyers, and one of them actually knew somebody that could deal with that. So that is sort of the benefit of what we do is, you know, we match when people have asks that their network can't handle or doesn't know how to deal with, we push it out to a lot more people and we get responses. So there's an example.
Terrific. Very
Just a
good.
quick little fun fact. You could have gone to Dick Romney because he was underplayed himself, but he ran Poland for the law firm that he worked for. So he might have been able to introduce you. And then one other thing is Jeremy and Ryan have a podcast. So please, all of you go and download it, subscribe to it. It's called Blue Collar Culture. And I was a guest on their podcast. They've got some great interviews. Fernando, you would love one of their first interviews with a lawyer whose tagline was, "It's cheaper to stay out of trouble than get out of trouble," which I love. And then they are using another podcast, which is great, is The Unstoppable CEO by Steve Gordon. And he has a service to actually create the whole podcast, do all the marketing and everything else. So that's how I met them, because I was on Steve's podcast. He introduced me to them. So those guys are great. Just wanted to give you a couple of fun facts.
Thank you.
So thank you all for coming. Go in the chat room. That has the link for the member site. So make sure you go on the chat room and do that. If you want to bring guests for the next time, we're also launching a webinar with 40 participants with panels of sponsors on current topics and with a networking component with 10 Zoom rooms, $10 each. An hour on various topics. Next week is M&A, which I'm sure you got the emails from Kathy with the dates and the times, and that's pretty much it. So we try to keep you to a half an hour. It's been a little longer. Is there anything else that I missed, Kath? Oh, and everybody put your email addresses in the chat room, so everybody has everybody's email address. So if you could take 2 minutes to put your email address and contact information in the chat room. And
so the ultimate solution to that is actually, for every one of these calls that I don't want individual emails going, how do we get in touch with the group? We created a member site for you guys. So on the member site, you fill out your profile second time, make sure your email and your phone number is visible, and then it's super easy. That's the whole idea. It's called Mighty Networks. It's super easy. I am delivering content there every day. So you should check in once a day. Monday, I have a pattern. Monday, I do a motivational. Wednesday's a sales tip. Thursday's a shout out to new members. Friday's business transacted. If you have success stories, I know Ryan is hooking up with Lewis, who actually is down in Puerto Rico right now. Pat's working with me. I'm helping her with some business planning, and she's doing some logo design for me. So if there's business being transacted within the group, please tell me about it. And the final ask is, we want to fill these events. So we're really trying to do these to give our sponsors some visibility, since our live events are shut down right now. So to the extent that you can share the invitation would be very, very appreciated. So I'll send that out. I'm going to actually embed a little video message in it tomorrow, and then we'll send it out. But we have M&A next week. I also have an interactive networking. Since I speak about networking and people call me the queen of networking, it's going to be little practice sections. So I'm going to give people some info. They're going to break out into breakout rooms. You're going to network, come back, give me feedback. I'm going to give you some more tips. You're going to break into other groups. So that's going to be a highly interactive. And the week after that, we have Pivot for Profit. And then next week, Darcy's hosting next Wednesday. Hans is doing the following one. Ryan's doing the third one. If anyone else wants to moderate, the whole idea is for me not to be on these, right? We're doing them weekly because the demand is there. So as long as the demand is there, I'll continue to host these. When we were back at full speed, you know, people weren't around, Hans, we can't interfere with his rugby game or his squash game or whatever it is. So anyway, thanks guys. Sorry it went a little bit long. Thanks, Jeff, for moderating.
no problem.
All right, and go to the chat, download that little link, sign up. If you haven't gone on to Mighty Network, please get on there. There's only like 20 of you on there. We have almost 80 people in the group.
Very
Thanks,
good.
Kathy. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Good.
Everybody.
See ya.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Kathy.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Yeah,
Thanks,
nice-
Kathy. Stay well, everyone.
Stay safe.
Thank you.